What is a hero? To me, it's an individual who puts service before self, a person who dedicates their life to helping others. Heroes come in many forms: firefighters, police officers, first responders, and our brave troops. They are the selfless men and women who serve their neighbors, communities, and this amazing country we call America. I'm Dan Bald. I served my country in the United States Air Force. Then I spent 25 years serving the neighbors and communities I lived in by telling their stories. Now I'm on a new mission in life, traveling the country, discovering what fuels these heroes' minds, bodies, and souls. Fire in the hole! This is Hungry Heroes. On this edition of Hungry Heroes, we've traveled to the Grand Canyon State, Arizona. More specifically, we're heading to Pinal County, which is just southeast of Phoenix, in search of the heroes that make up the Pinal County Sheriff's Department. Our journey takes us to the county seat, which is the city of Florence, a historic town that dates back to the Wild West days with shootouts at the local saloon between the outlaws and the local sheriff. Today, though, things are a bit different. As the county has grown in size, so has their local sheriff's department. But one thing that hasn't changed is the role of the local sheriff, to keep the peace, follow the rule of law, and protect the people. And that's exactly the creed that Sheriff Mark Lamb, dubbed America's Sheriff, lives by. Along with running one of the largest jails in the state, the sheriff and his deputies have their work cut out for them on a daily basis. During our time with these heroes, I'll take a ride along to see what they deal with when it comes to the cartels using their local highways as truck routes to ship their drugs and people. The sheriff will show us firsthand just how bad the southern border crisis currently is and how much damage it's causing not to just his area, but the entire nation. Then a bit later, we'll go inside the Pinal County Jail, get up close and personal with some real bad dudes serving time for their crimes. But before we get to all that with Sheriff Lamb and his deputies, you know the drill. I gotta eat. And that means we've got to check out a few local spots that our heroes love to chow down on when they're out cruising the beat. Just got into the small city of Florence, which is pretty much the county hub for Pinal County. And as I said earlier, we're going to be chatting with the heroes that make up the Pinal County Sheriff's Department in just a bit. However, them knowing I'm Italian and that I love a good slice of pie, if you live in Arizona, you've been to Baros. With over 50 locations, this is the only place to get pizza in Arizona. Let's go check it out.
Hi, welcome into Baros.
Oh, I like that. Welcome. Hello.
How you
How's
doing?
it going? You Luke?
Yes, I am.
I'm Dan.
Nice to meet
Hungry
you.
Heroes. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
So, my friend, Sheriff Mark Lamb,
Okay.
told me Baros, it's like the place to eat pizza in Arizona, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You tell me, what should I get?
Our Supreme, which is, we call it the Baros Special. That would be my go-to.
I'll
and
do a
then some
Baros
wings.
special.
Yeah.
And then barbecue.
Barbecue.
It's my favorite for wings.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Luke.
Alrighty, I got your food here for you.
Oh, thank you, Luke.
No problem.
I was just checking out the Baros story on your website here.
Okay.
I didn't realize that this is like a, what, 2-3 generational family thing from Chicago?
Yeah, the Baros family, they started in Chicago. They brought the recipes, and it's definitely turned into a big thing.
I'll give it a try. Let's show what I think.
Awesome.
Thank you. There we go. There we go. That's the one. You get the thickness. I like that they got nice golden brown. I don't know if you can hear it. Got the crisp, got the crunch, just enough so it's not doughy. I hate that, but not overdone where it's so crispy that it's crumbling all over your plate. You can tell this family makes this stuff with love. All right, now on to these big, meaty looking wings. If they give you just as many drumsticks or more, and they're huge, that's typically a good quality wing joint. Good meat quality, big, hunky, and I like the barbecue sauce. So great job on the wings, but I'm going back to the Baros special because Grandma nailed this crust and sauce. Cheers. Luke, thank you, brother.
Hey, thank
Everything
you.
was great.
Thank you for coming in.
You tell the Baros that is some good pie. I felt like I was back home in the Midwest.
Awesome. Glad to hear
Yep,
it.
God bless. Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate it. Now, even though I pretty much got my fill on some great tasting pie and wings, our heroes at the Pinal County Sheriff's Department recommended a local's biker bar. What they tell me is some of the best bar food you'll find in all of Arizona. But hey, let's be real, they had me at Biker Bar. Well, we thought we'd make one more stop, and that brings us to this very unique place, the River Bottom Grill and Saloon. Let's go inside and check it out. Check out this place.
Hi there, welcome to the River Bottom. Go ahead and take a seat wherever you're comfortable, okay? We'll be right with you.
I'll just grab this one, is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
I love this place already.
Here's our menu.
Awesome biker bar saloon. What's like two of your best sellers that locals love to eat at the River Bottom?
I would recommend getting our fish and chips and clam chowder. Even though we're in the middle of the desert, we do have amazing seafood. So we make our clam chowder fresh daily. You will not be disappointed.
Okay.
And then I would suggest doing the ribeye if you look on the other side of your menu.
I'll do sweet potato fries and a Caesar salad. How about that?
All right, perfect.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
You just brought me a ton of food here.
You enjoy, okay?
Thank
Let
you,
me
dear.
know if you need anything.
Yes,
yeah,
I will.
absolutely.
Butter on top, medium rare. Where do I begin? The one thing I always notice about a lot of biker bars, a lot of these chefs put their heart and soul into the food, and I can tell here at this establishment, they do just that. One, they're not using frozen fish for their fish and chips. They're dipping this hand-battered, beer batter, and fresh fish. The profile of the steak, cooked just right, medium rare, sauteed mushrooms. He's had a little dill in his mashed potatoes. And we'll end on this, because literally they've got signs up that say, world famous clam chowder. I gotta say, this is some damn good chowder. Good job, River Bottom. Oh, and my stuff. That was so good, Tabitha. Thank you.
I appreciate everything.
Really good. I enjoyed
Thanks for coming
myself.
in. Let me introduce you to our owners. This is Sue and Jeff.
Hi, Sue.
Nice to meet you.
Jeff.
Dan, good
Nice to meet you guys. The food was really good.
Great. I
Truly.
appreciate that.
You knocked it out of the park.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Thanks for taking care of our heroes that
Thank
protect
you
and
very
serve
much.
us. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Now it's time to ride up the road and meet up with America's Sheriff, Mark Lamb, and some of his deputies. There he is.
Dan Ball.
What's up, Sheriff Lamb?
Brother, how you doing?
Good,
It's
man.
good to see you,
Nice
man.
to see you.
How was the ride?
Well, it was a little wet and a little cold, but
we
I
don't
made
get
it.
much rain. You just happen to catch it. Well, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. I want to give you a tour, but one of the things we do is the border stuff. You know, we're dealing with the border stuff. We're dealing with the highway smuggling, the fentanyl coming in.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to give you a tour, but we actually have got a group coming through the desert right now, and I wanted to see if we couldn't head out there. I wanted to show you that area anywhere where the smugglers come through.
Okay.
But let's see if we can't catch them. So I'm thinking we just jump in the
We're
truck
just gonna
and
hit
go.
the streets. I'm ready to run and gun if you want to
Let's
hit
do
it.
it. Let's
okay.
hit it.
Let's go. Coming up on Hungry Heroes, Sheriff Lamb and his deputies have a very difficult job these days, so we'll head out to a remote part of the desert where thousands upon thousands of illegal immigrants typically hide out, waiting for their ride to take them further into the interior of our nation. It's a real eye-opener. Hungry Heroes is just getting started.
This is Dave Mortosh, president of Mortosh Financial. Do you remember the kids' game Heads I Win, Tails You Lose? Well, it meant that whichever way the coin landed, you won. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a financial product like that? Well, there is. You know my saying that when the market goes up, you share in the gains, but when the market goes down, you are protected from losses. So you really can't have principal protection, solid growth, and no probate all in one product.
To get your complimentary consultation, call 877-GAINS-4U.
Welcome back. On this episode of Hungry Heroes, we travel to the city of Florence, Arizona, just outside of Phoenix, to meet up with Pinal County Sheriff Mark Lamb. After I stuffed my face at a well-known Arizona pizza chain called Baros, I stopped off at one of the coolest biker bars I've ever seen. But now it's time to get after it, as the sheriff takes me out for a ride-along in one of the largest desert counties in the Grand Canyon State. All right, let's hit it, Sheriff.
Let's hit it.
We've been driving now about 30, 40 minutes. Where are you taking us?
So we're on the I-8 interstate, which actually starts in my county. It intersects with the I-10 interstate. We have two issues that we deal with when we talk about border security. We are not on the border. Over here, we are at our closest 52 miles off the border. On the I-10 freeway, we intersect at 71 miles off the border. But over here, what we have is an Indian reservation that actually runs into Mexico. It's on both sides of the border. The cartel will push military-age men in carpet shoes and camouflage clothes and backpacks with drugs up through this desert area into my county, and they get picked up in this area off the I-8 interstate.
This is an American crisis that's happening. And like you just said, Sheriff, you're 50 miles from the border, yet you're worrying about it and having just as much problem, if not more, than they are right at the border. Because this is the central hub where they're all coming through, because you got these major freeways.
That's right. 80 to 90%, if not maybe even 100%, of those drugs come through Pinal County at some point on the I-10 interstate or the I-8 interstate. I have had a 461% increase in vehicle pursuits involving human smuggling. I have had a 377% increase in traffic stops involving human smuggling. I have had a 610% increase in fentanyl pills that we are seizing just in the last 2 years. Wow. This problem is so severe for me in my county that I have to dedicate my 4 road canines exclusively to interdicting human loads and drug loads into this country, into this county and into this country. So I have to take resources that should be dedicated to the citizens of my county, and I have to now put those resources into stopping people because the federal government didn't do their job. The area we're going to right now, where these groups tend to come through, is what we would call a loadout spot. So we're going to get out and clear this area.
Okay.
So it looks like the area is clear. This is the carpet shoe I'm telling you about.
Look at that, they stitched that up.
They'll put this right over their boot.
No
and
tracks.
Then they'll walk with this on for 5, 6 days, whatever it takes. I mean, all in through here, you can see all the trash of all the groups, the remnants. I've found knives, I've found everything you can find here. This is fresh.
And look at all the carpet.
So as you can see here, what they'll do
a
is
big
they
group
will-
came in that one, because that's a ton of carpet shoes.
They will stuff all of this stuff. I was just here 2 days ago, and these packs and stuff
We're not here.
were not here. Look at how many people were in this crew.
Look at the matching.
Yeah.
So they're getting all this down in Mexico. Look at this. All camouflage matching.
So they put their jug in here. Look at this one here. Look at how many carpet shoes are in here. Look at how many people these were.
Yeah, count them up.
All these carpet shoes. All these carpet shoes. Every one of these sets is more people.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One bag, 7 people.
So what they'll do is they'll shove all this in here. Food. Now, a lot of times, this is where they'll carry their drugs too. Well, good. They brought a mask just for...
Yeah, in case they need it. Thermal blanket. Yeah. They didn't use it, but it's a thermal blanket.
They'll bring a thermal blanket. I mean, you see. Wow. Not that I want them here, but where's your environmental groups? All this trash everywhere. I could show you 100 of these spots.
Yeah, and there's just one little place
One
in the
little
county.
spot. One little spot. I'm doing what I can, but it's just like,
This is insane. The immigration problem, obviously, in your county being such a big deal and having these 2 highways cut right through your county, the 8 and the 10, when you're out here running traffic, you're not just like a regular sheriff looking for somebody speeding or drunk driving. You've got to look for drugs and human smugglers.
yeah, we're looking for a lot of different things. So the reason I'm going to probably stop this vehicle in front of us came off one of these roads. The car's a little bit janky, but really it's because she's speeding. And so we're gonna get a traffic stop on her. You guys ready? Jeez.
She's flooring it. 80.
Now on traffic. Arizona, Lincoln, Charlie, a black Honda Accord. Well, that didn't work out for you, did it?
No, it did not.
Well, first of all, you were following me too close.
Yes.
Then you were speeding like way too fast. You were going 80 something right there. I couldn't even hardly catch up to you. What's the hurry?
I have a prison visit.
Okay. Do you have your license and registration? Now on code 4.
Copy of the code for it, 1213.
All right, here's the deal. I'm gonna let you go, all right?
Okay.
You gotta slow down.
Okay, I will. No, for sure. Thank you. I appreciate
Okay?
that.
Then you can't be passing cops.
I will. Okay.
There you go.
Appreciate you so much.
All right.
What happened there?
Speeding. She's going to see her loved one in the prison.
Oh.
Came out of a bad area. Well, an area where we see smugglers.
Yep.
Had good PC for the stop, which was the speed. Nobody was in the car, so immediately I'm looking for, you know, I'm kind of out of that area. I'm looking for maybe a car full of people that don't belong. But in the end, she's just somebody that's gonna go see a loved one at the prison. And she's running a little bit late, which is why she said she was speeding. I'll be honest with you, she was honest with me, didn't try to get out of it. And that's probably what swayed my decision in cutting her a break today.
And you're just a nice sheriff.
I'm a nice sheriff anyway.
Up next, the nice sheriff will take us inside one of Arizona's biggest jails, introduce us to the heroes that are in charge of keeping order. Then, a bit later, we'll sit down and break bread with the sheriff and some of his deputies as we find out what fuels these heroes' minds, bodies, and souls. So stick around.
Travis Mills Foundation. I've said many times this is the best run veterans charity I've seen. It simply changes vets' lives. It's a 1-week free retreat for vets and their families. The foundation helps injured vets and vets with PTS. My wife and I are matching $500,000 in donations for the 3rd straight year. Our goal is more monthly donors. It's the monthly donors that keep the charities running. Go to travismillsfoundation.org/Dave, travismillsfoundation.org/Dave.
Thanks for sticking with us. So far on this edition of Hungry Heroes, we discovered 2 great places to eat while in Pinal County, Arizona. Then we met up with America's Sheriff, Mark Lamb, and he showed us the ugly side of illegal immigration. But now it's time to go behind bars, because running a 1,500-bed jail is just one more part of the job for these heroes that make up the Pinal County Sheriff's Department.
So another thing that's unique to sheriff's offices is not only do we have to patrol the streets, we also run the jails. We're here at our jail. We're gonna do a quick little tour. 1,500 beds here.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one.
My hometown, okay, Fulton County, Ohio, that county jail had maybe a couple hundred beds, if that.
Our daily population, though, is about 550 a day.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
All right, let's go look around then.
We made sure we're out of guns, no lives, everything. We're good
Yes.
to go.
Yeah, just keep rolling.
First time I came in here, I couldn't believe how long this hallway was.
I was gonna say, this is, what the hell?
Called Hungry Heroes. It's good seeing you, Dennis.
Being a correctional deputy is no easy task, because while some of these offenders may be just low-level criminals, these deputies are also tasked with looking after murderers, rapists, you name it, who are there awaiting trial and sentencing, eventually headed to prison.
So basically, we come in here, we're just basically walking. We're going through it and make sure that, you know, everything, such as like they're grouping up together, right? It's just because of the camera while they're doing that. But typically, if they're together like that, that shows me that there might be something that's going on. We're also looking inside the cell, making sure that their bed is made, everything is looking good, keep their cells in order, make sure that they clean their cell.
It's interesting that you have to worry about things that I think most people wouldn't think, how's that stuff getting into jail? Aren't they just in here in a jail uniform, in a bunk, and there's nothing to worry about? But they don't realize that jails can sometimes mimic what's happening on the outside as well, right? Even to a further degree. So when you're looking in the individual cells, you're looking for any type of, what's the term, contraband, right? Something they shouldn't have.
Correct. So when we're looking there, this is a perfect example of a cell that needs correction, okay? So this right here, they made their own little mat, basically. Like when you're at home, you have your little mat there. That's basically what I did there. technically I would let them know, hey, they need to remove this. Can you guys take this up for me, please?
I always ask guys that put on the badge this question because I think it's so poignant to what you guys do. It's a dangerous job. So, do you like it, and why do you do what you do? I mean, a lot of people wouldn't do this job, let's be real.
To be honest with you, I think I like the job. Is what I wanted to always help people. I never thought it was going to be coming to this industry to be working with inmates. I was going to be a police officer. That's always my dream. I always wanted to help somebody. But since I've been doing this career, I've learned that I love what I do. Every single day, I try to help these guys, try to speak to them, and I believe that one day, one of them, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Even though they have committed a heinous crime or even a non-heinous crime, I believe that it would touch somebody with what I try to help them with. Because my duty here is to help them go out there to better themselves.
Yeah, try and get reformed and go back into society and be a good, normal part of society instead of a bad part.
Correct.
Right on, man. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your work. Appreciate you. Yeah, thanks.
Well, after spending a very eye-opening day with Sheriff Lamb, it was time to meet up with some of his top cops and share a meal so we could discover what drives them each and every day to do what they do. So we all bellied up to the taco bar provided by Jalapeño's Mexican restaurant here in Florence to learn more about our heroes.
So guys, this is kind of the part where I like sitting down and chatting with the heroes that we get to meet around the country, you know, whether it's men and women in uniform or nonprofit groups and charities, because to me, anybody that's out there serving their fellow man, that's a hero. Sheriff, I'll just start with you. What drove you to get into law enforcement 17 years ago?
Well, I love America. For me, it's about God, family, and freedom. You know, what better way than to protect righteousness through the rule of law? Family, I protect my family, I protect other people's families every day, and I believe in the family unity and the integral part it plays in America. And I believe in freedom. I love the Constitution, the Founding Fathers, the sacrifices they made, the opportunity that I have to not just protect people's lives, but to protect their freedoms, their constitutional rights. I get to do that every day. I feel blessed, and that's why I love putting on this badge and coming to work every day. There's never a day where I don't want to get up and go to work.
There's nothing wrong with tough, hard men and women doing a hard job.
But she's tough.
Yeah. Let's move to Miss Cat, because let's be real. The law enforcement industry for decades was predominantly a male-driven industry. What's it make you feel like when a little kid or an adult, anyone, would come up and go, you're a hero for doing what you do?
I think though, those are the little things, if I'm having a really bad day, like the kids, for example, those are the little moments that I cling to that I'm like, oh man, I've had a horrible day. And something like that, something so small, it kind of just rejuvenates you. It fills up your cup. So you just feel like that's a thing that you can have to get through that really tough day, tough week, tough month.
Every single day the job's different, it's new and exciting, and you get to come into people's lives at the worst possible moment of their life and make it better. Search and rescue deputy is the best job in this agency because that's what they do. People get lost, they get stuck, they're in the middle of nowhere. You come and you save them and you bring them back to civilization.
We're the only person that can go out there and actually save them and get them out of that situation they got themselves into. For instance, we had a rollover with the side-by-side, kids bleeding out, pretty much arms amputated. His partner that was with them also, suffering from some type of injury, we don't know yet. He's on the phone with us, he's bleeding out, he says, my friend's dying. At that point you're trying to figure out what can I do to kind of help that other person that's injured and what he can do in his power. So I told him, you know what, put your knee underneath his armpit and hold pressure there. So he was able to hold pressure, wait an hour and 20 minutes for us to get there. Before I can get there, render aid, put a tourniquet, and actually saved his life.
If you had to give advice to maybe a young person out there and they're looking at law enforcement, especially in today's climate, but what would be your advice? Because I can tell you love it.
Usually what I tell kids is go do a ride along first. See what you think. See if you like it. And if it's something that they really want and they want to go out there and help the community and change how law enforcement is seen by other people, then guess what? Go out there and do it. Don't give up on that dream.
So Sheriff, since we've known each other a few years, I know besides watching the talk show, you watch Hungry Heroes a lot. And you know this is my favorite part of the show because I get to give money to a great cause and it's not mine. So I love giving away cash. after meeting some of your deputies and seeing what you're doing here in Pinal County and how they adore you, look up to you, how you're leading them. This is one of the most special checks I get to give. So here's $5,000. I know you have a morale and welfare type benevolent fund that's going to go to deputies if they're in trouble or, God forbid, somebody goes down the line of duty. Put it in there because you got a great crew here.
And we appreciate this, and honestly, I appreciate all you do for law enforcement, for you taking the time to come here to this agency, see the great men and women that put on this badge for us every day. I know on behalf of all law enforcement, we say thank you.
Well,
and thank you again.
We always back the badge on this program.
It, brother.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Be well, man. God bless you.
Have a safe trip back.
And that's going to do it. So remember my creed, folks. Keep the rubber down and the paint up. And don't forget to honor the heroes among us.